Okay, first question. Okay, there's your news conference line. Can you start?
Rassie, firstly, congratulations on the result. Can you take us through the late exits, what happened, and what are any problems?
The late injuries?
Yes.
Evening everybody. Yes, Eben got a knock against his head and we gave him as much chance as possible because we thought it was a really important game. And then Eben was Wednesday or Tuesday, and then yesterday pulled his hamstring. So those were the changes.
Ken?
Rassie, great start to the game again, and then things seemed to go a little bit flat in the second quarter. How pleased were you then with that second half? That the guys really controlled.
Yeah.
You know, we got a bit of a fright before half time. Really controlled things in the second half.
Yeah. No. Look, we did definitely see flashbacks of last year, and I think it's easy to say now after we won that we learned from mistakes. But the chat was definitely at half time. Boys, we've been here. We know how it feels if we don't rectify things in the second half. And certainly a lot of things like Tony and Stocker, what they said at halftime was really spot on. And a lot of obviously we had to be really honest with one another halftime. But yes, because of that experience, you look for Peter Steff probably hasn't played 2 games in a lot of months. Mani plays in the B division to see how he fits into straight back into test match rugby. Then obviously all the changes prior to the game, Paul de Villiers and Cameron, he hasn't played this test match level before. So, and then obviously the intensity of guys like Grant Williams, who hasn't played rugby in probably 3-4 months. So it's normally the biggest challenge for us after not playing together for 7 months is how quickly can we get in sync, and then how match fit the guys can be. And a lot of the guys tick those boxes for us, which we are happy about. But spot on with what you said, but luckily we had that game last year where we could rectify things during the halftime chat and then obviously during the second half.
Rassie, how happy are you with the performance of the young guys, and how happy are you with the preparation of the guys for the World Cup and after the World Cup?
No, sometimes injuries happen and it's never nice. I mean, if you ask me, I wouldn't prescribe it for any team to lose the guys on the team photos at left and the right of me, which are the most caps in the team, or the captain, and the most caps in the team, to lose them prior to a game. But then, I think our average age was 31 when those guys were in, and when the other boys came in, our average age was 27. So suddenly, you must see the positive in that, and that Paul now stays test match rugby, and he will certainly learn from this, and the same with Cameron, and then Pity playing lock. And being captain at the same time and playing 4-lock, which he hasn't played for a while. And then a guy like, so we're happy. Sometimes if we lost the game, I would have sat here and said, yes, we couldn't handle what happened to us during this week. But now it's nice to say that it did happen. And again, now, there's not to moan about it, but we actually have 8 locks out now. I can name them for you. John Klein, Salman Murat, R.G. Snyman, Eben Etzebeth, Lode Jager, Franco Mostert, Riley Norton, there's another one, it's 8, so I'm not saying that to have empathy or sympathy. I'm saying that I would have loved to give Riley a run here. But then Ben Jason comes on, and I thought Ben Jason had a really good impact when he was on the field. And we could mingle it a little bit with guys playing 6, 7 and 8 between Jasper and Marco and Cameron. So all in all, I thought above average performance.
The credit that these young guns are applying to you older guys, do you think it will increase after their success today?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the second thought.
Do you think that the young guns will apply more and more pressure the more they get experience on your older guys?
Yeah, of course, everyone wants to play for the Springboks. So if you get the opportunity to play for the Springboks, the guy that grabs the opportunity with both hands is definitely gonna get the jersey, and probably the guy that's in the top form as well. So there's a lot of different aspects that goes into consideration. But for us as a player, I'm going to give 100% and make sure I can live up to the standards that's set to play for the Springboks.
Rassie, you mentioned Cameron's performance and obviously wouldn't obviously have played. And now in hindsight, they gave a brilliant performance. Also, if you look at the guy like Zachary Porter, how he finished the game with Ox going on. Just first of all, what is Ox's injury?
Ox got a knee injury. I think it's pretty bad, but the normal saying, we'll have to do the scans and find out what's wrong. But we wouldn't have taken him off. The game was pretty much not definitely in the bag, as you saw. So yeah, he got a knee injury, and then I hope I'm not repeating myself, but those two players, obviously to get caps into guys, you know, it's a new competition, this. Bonus points do tell, and I saw this morning when the other teams play, shit, they're going for bonus points. You know, they are chasing it in New Zealand and Australia, and it's probably something we weren't planning to do. We were planning to just win this test match because we think England is a class team. But then injuries happened, and for those boys to play in this intensity against a team like that with Curry and Pollock, and you know they're a good team. You know they're on a losing streak now, but before that they were on an 11-game winning streak. So they know how to win. But yes, for those boys to get used to it, I don't think they were brilliant, the guys who played there, but they certainly weren't out of class at that level, and that's good.
Just on Zach.
And Zach, no, I mean, we would have loved Zach to have played much more games, URC, and you know, really get roughed up as a tight head. But you know, you want him to go through tough times, and that happened the last 3 weeks at scrumming against Ox and Gerard and Dukes and so on. So we saw what he did there, and you know, there's no doubt about his general play. I mean, he's a fantastic player. He's mobile, he can tackle and so on. But we had probably, because we didn't see him a lot playing in URC, we didn't have great evidence that he could make it against. But then at training sessions he showed. So we're very happy for him that he came through it that way.
I think that when you lose two inspirational players like Sia and Evan ahead of the game, does that rally the guys together? Not that you need extra motivation, but it rallies the guys together. Is that what happened? Everyone pulled together, and you know, this is vital.
Yeah, if you lose those two kind of guys, the quality of those two players, the young guys, they want to definitely make a step up, and they want to definitely take the opportunity with both hands. So, of course, they want to. We had an extra clarity session and make sure they know exactly what to do. We try to inform them how the game is going to go. But again, the system is set in stone, and if you buy into the system, you understand the system will take care of the player. And I think that's the nice thing about us at the moment. We've got a really good system.
Rassie, we talk a lot about Springbok depth. Was it nice to be forced to test it?
Yes, I think you hit the spot on there. Sometimes it's difficult, or it takes a lot of courage to swap in and out, especially with a new competition. That was what I was trying to say in the previous question, but I got off track. You know, with a new competition, yeah, if you're forced to make things, you know, it's tough not to play Sia. And Paul is coming through, and Marco is coming through, and then you think, where are you going to play them? We've got a saying, it will come to us. You know, we believe in that it will come to us, but certainly we'll have to make some big calls in this year to be 100% sure about next year, that when we go into the World Cup next year, that we test our depth. And today was destiny, took charge of that, and we could go with that, and luckily it worked out the right way.